Hello everyone, welcome to another ISMONO podcast. In this episode, I will be talking basically to myself because I wasn't able to schedule a podcast guest for the last 2 weeks because it was pretty busy. It's actually right now 11 p.m. at night, so I just wanted to record an episode because I obviously do not want to interrupt my uploading schedule of one episode every 2 weeks. I'm also a little bit tired, so excuse that a little bit. As I said, there has been a lot going on. For example, I had to do something in the garden and stuff like that, had some work, and it is very difficult to kind of schedule a podcast episode with different time zones. I'm in Germany, and most of the people that I will be talking to or have been talking to are living either in the US or, for example, next week I will interview the head designer of Bellroy. He is living in Australia, so scheduling these episodes sometimes can be a little bit difficult if I am quite busy. So in this episode, I will be talking basically to myself, and I thought it would be a great opportunity to take a couple of the questions that I have been asking my guests in the previous episodes and take those questions and ask them myself and try to answer those questions. So hopefully you will have an entertaining episode for this week. So I thought the first question that I picked out is from a podcast that I did with a photographer, and that question was, what's your favorite camera gear? And this one is actually fairly easy to answer because I've been kind of raving about that item for the last few episodes, and that is the DJI Pocket 3, which basically elevated, at least for me, my whole content in the way how I can shoot wherever I am. I can shoot on the go. I can film in a fairly high picture quality whilst having a very small camera body that is with me all of the time. The DJI Pocket is a small camera that has an internal gimbal, but also a 1-inch sensor, which is bigger than the sensors that you can find in compact cameras or in your smartphone, which makes this a very good choice to film on the go. Moreover, it has an lavalier mic, a wireless mic that you can connect wirelessly to the DJI Pocket 3 and then basically stand a couple of meters away from the camera like I usually have to do when I review a bag, and then talk to the camera with the mic fairly close to my mouth, giving you a very good audio quality. And most of the time, video is not that important, the video or the image quality of the video that you're making. Because if you have great video quality, then obviously, sorry, I'm stumbling a little bit over my words now, because sorry about that. I notice I'm a little bit tired. Excuse that. So if you have great video quality and the audio quality is terrible, then you're more likely to switch off whatever you're watching. But if the video quality isn't that great, but the audio quality is amazing, then you're more likely to continue watching the video. So therefore, it's always important to have a good mic with you. And the DJI Pocket 3, together with the wireless mic, gives me everything that I need to film on the go. So that is my favorite camera at the moment. The Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K that I'm filming on right now is an amazing camera. Every time I take the camera into my hands, I love filming with it. But it is huge. It is not a camera that I personally like to lug around. Therefore, the DJI Pocket 3 is my favorite camera gear of all time. So the next question is, what are you looking to improve or change in the future? And can you see yourself making different content? If yes, what kind of content? And I asked that question because I was really thinking about that myself a lot. And if you have watched my recent videos, you've seen A, how long they have become, and B, that I kind of like to dabble with this vlog format. The idea of this kind of content that I'm currently making is I want to be liberated in the way I make videos. Therefore, I don't script it. I tend to just talk off the cuff, and therefore those videos have become very long. This goes hand in hand with my wish to create this vlog style videos, because I noticed whenever I review a bag that is fairly unknown and that is not that interesting, obviously the views are very low. So my goal has been for the last few months to create content that is hopefully entertaining to you and anyone else, so you might more attracted to the video or to my content despite the item that I review. So kind of splice in some vlog style content or some live tips. For example, in the next video, there is a segment about how I pack or how I plan to pack my carry-on bag, or in a previous video, there was some segments about how I manage my finances and stuff like that. So my hope is to create content that is entertaining and interesting to you, no matter what product I might be reviewing. And a huge inspiration to that is obviously the big vlog people like Casey Neistat, for example, but I don't want to really show too much of my private life because I just feel like it's not that interesting. But the next one would be people like MKBHD, but more importantly, Linus Tech Tips. Linus Tech Tips, who, for those of you who don't know, is a tech channel mostly about computer hardware, and more specifically PC and Windows hardware or Linux hardware. So nothing that interests me at all, but they make the videos so interesting. Or for example, their podcast, I don't have any interest in that, but I like to listen to them because it's always interesting. The people that are included in there, it's interesting to follow them and to watch the content despite what they are reviewing or what they are talking about in that specific video. The same goes with MKBHD, who's a tech reviewer. There is a lot of gear that I enjoy watching the reviews about, but I rather have content with him and follow him and see what he's doing. And that's kind of my goal with the content that I'm currently creating. I want to create content, as I said, that is interesting no matter what I might be reviewing in that specific video. And I hope that I'm getting better in creating these vlog style videos. I realized some of the videos, one of the latest videos has been 55 minutes. That being said, it is about three different bags. So, and then a couple of small vlog segments. So if you take apart that video, you will realize that all of the single parts aren't that long. But yeah, put them together to kind of make an hopefully interesting video. And yeah, that's kind of what I'm striving for at the moment. And obviously, when the question is, what do you want to improve? It is, I want to improve this type of videos. I want to be better in vlogging, especially in vlogging outside when people are around. I don't want to be that subconscious about it, but also I want to be able to kind of still speak off the cuff, but make the videos a little bit more compressed and shorter and therefore easier digestible. But I think 20 minutes videos is kind of a sweet spot for me at the moment. But yeah, I'm not sure yet how to improve it. But more importantly, I still want to enjoy the process. And I notice that whenever I'm just speaking off the cuff and just film without too much of a plan. It's much more liberating for me and therefore much more enjoyable. Yeah, that's what I'm currently striving for. Next question is, we're getting older. How do you feel about content creation and social media the older you get? Are we growing out of the space? And I think that was a question that I asked Chase Reeves, because he and I are basically in the same age bracket. And I think, if I'm not completely mistaken, I am one of the oldest bag reviewers in or content creators in the space of bag reviewers. I'm 43 years old, and yeah, therefore I believe I'm one of the oldest. And I am still very connected with the YouTube space. I try to follow a lot of the trends and kind of see where things are going, but also try to see where there is some controversy, to see, kind of learn what happened there. And also because I feel it's very interesting. That being said, I'm not the kind of person that follows trends, and I do realize that it would be very weird if I kind of followed some of the newer trends. For example, that's just an example off my head. Imagine me dancing in a review like this, I don't know, TikTok dances and stuff like that. That would be weird, but yeah, to some degree, if I follow some of the trends, it sometimes feels like I kind of grow out of it, but I'm still very connected to everything that is going on. So yeah, I realize my age, but I still feel I'm, compared to many of my friends in the same age, I'm still very knowledgeable about what's going on in this kind of social media space. What's your entertainment routine for long distance travel? And that's actually a question that I asked, or tried to ask, a couple of times, because for those of you who don't know, I will be going to Thailand for Muay Thai camp. And yeah, I kind of wanted to get some inspiration about traveling again, because I haven't been traveling since 2019, and I haven't done a long distance flight since 2019. So yeah, I was kind of looking for tips and tricks and kind of refresh what I've been doing in the past, and yeah, look into what to do. And for me now, is entertainment is I will be watching a couple of movies with the internal entertainment system. I got myself a couple of new noise cancellation headphones. Do you say headset or headphones? Headphones. From Sennheiser, the Moment 4, that I will be doing a review about soon. And I will be watching movies either on the internal entertainment system or on my Fold 5. Maybe I will take my tablet, I'm not sure yet, but I will definitely also bring my Anbernic RG35XX Plus retro handheld gaming device. I'm currently playing Advanced Wars 2. I just finished Advanced Wars 1, also finished Final Fantasy 7, and yeah, I will probably be gaming a little bit while being on that very long flight to Thailand to the Muay Thai camp. How do you plan your vacation, and how do you how do you prepare for the flight? Also a question that I was looking to get some more inspiration about. I'm usually a person that likes to prepare a lot before a long flight and before vacation, meaning I like to have copies of important documents either printed out, but also on on the cloud storage space. And yeah, be prepared a little bit in that regard. I also prepare myself. In this case, I researched a little bit about eSIMs, and I narrowed it down to couple of eSIM providers to have them already in place when I land in Thailand. Back in the days, I usually went to any destinations, got a SIM card there, and then dropped it into my phone. But I realized, or I really want to try this eSIM solution just to be able to land and then straight away install. I will be in Asia, so install Grab, which is an app for delivery, but also for cabs and transportation. So I want to have that in place right away when I land, so I can get to the Muay Thai camp fairly easy without going through the hassle of getting a SIM card at the airport. Then I always like to be prepared in terms of having some kind of medications, for example, diarrhea medicine, ibuprofen, and stuff like that, because I have a very good stomach, but I just don't want to be on vacation, have like diarrhea or anything, and then having to manage where to get medication, and having it right there in the hotel room or at the camp where I will be, instead of walking around getting some medication. I like to have a small set of meds with me all of the time when I'm on vacation. What else? Prepare clothing and stuff like that. The usual, let's say it that way. How do I prepare for the flight? I like to have some snacks when I'm there. When I'm having a flight, obviously my entertainment, a power bank, as I said, some snacks, just to be able to kind of eat something if I get hungry during the flight. A water bottle is very important. Always travel with an empty water bottle, fill it up at the water fountain or let it fill up by a stewardess, and always keep hydrated. That is very important. Also, I always have eye drops because when I am on a plane, the air is so dry. Also, I get nosebleeds when the air is very dry, so also have some sea salt nose spray to kind of moisturize my nose. And even before COVID, I like to have a scarf with me and kind of pull it over my nose and my mouth when I was sleeping or when I'm just watching a movie, because at least I felt when I were breathing through the scarf, maybe that's a little bit disgusting, I don't know, but at least it helped me in terms of not getting nosebleeds and stuff like that. When I was breathing through the merino scarf, it kind of moisturized or kept the moisture close to my breath in a way, and it didn't dry out my nose that quickly. And I'm kind of thinking about either like wearing a mask or also wearing the scarf in between when I'm just watching a movie and I'm not eating or anything. So that's something that I noticed whenever I was flying to Indonesia and taking long distance flights, that my nose gets much too dry, and therefore it's really important to drink, to moisturize. Also have some face lotion because my skin gets dry, kind of wash up, get some face lotion again on your skin, just to feel comfortable a little bit more. What else? Of course, toothbrush before landing. Brush your teeth. I just like it to kind of freshen up a little bit, and also try to kind of figure out when people are going to the bathroom. I like to go before lunch or before there is food, because afterwards it's always kind of getting full, and maybe about an hour before landing, go to the bathroom, so you don't have to stand in line and stuff like that. All right, next question. Most important item when traveling. I would say, and this might be a little bit of a cop-out, your phone. Especially nowadays where it's so easy to kind of have a translator in your phone, Google Maps, and once you have the local SIM card or like I plan to do so, eSIM. It is a very important device, but also a sling bag. It's very important to have your essentials very close by. That's definitely something that I always bring. So yeah, a sling bag, most important item when traveling. Then best entertainment tips for long distance flights. I already answered this. And favorite purchase of the last 12 months. And you could argue it could be the item that I mentioned previously, favorite camera, which would be the DJI Pocket 3. But because I already mentioned that, I will say my favorite item that I purchased within the last 12 months would be my Samsung Fold 5 phone. That phone is amazing. It kind of has become my favorite entertainment device, my favorite device overall when I'm on about for messaging, emailing, listening to Audible or listening to music. But when I fold it up, it's my work device. It's so much easier to answer emails, typing on the big screen, but also getting some work done, like drafting scripts, making notes, but also using the pen for my daily journal, editing pictures on a bigger screen with the pen on the phone is so much easier than on a smaller slab phone with your fingers. What else? I can even do my finances on this. I have a spreadsheet with all my finances, daily finances. It's so much easier to do it on this folding device on a bigger screen. So essentially it is a phone. And once you fold it up, it's kind of like an iPad mini. And people have been, let me get out the phone. People have kind of been arguing, oh, this form factor is terrible because once it's folded up, it's so narrow. And I love that about this because it makes it, if you have smaller hands, makes it very easy to do one-hand operations on this, but also it makes it less bulky in your pants pockets. It's still a bulky phone, but because it is more narrow, it is much easier to put in your pants pockets. And obviously, why need the bigger display in the front if you can just kind of fold it up like this, right? And have a big screen. So I get the argument of some people, or not some, many people have been criticizing the Fold series for being so narrow. I kind of get that. But on the other hand, they always argue, yeah, I want a big screen because that is my phone and I'm just working on a big screen. But then why need a folding phone? Then just get a regular phone. And I feel like this is a good balance between being compact and one hand usable, but then you open it up and you have a big screen to work with. So why? I don't need a big screen and then another big screen, you know what I mean? So I love this phone. I can highly recommend it. And whenever this breaks, it's a year old and it's still holding up very well. The Fold 6 has just come out and it is very expensive. And when this breaks, I will definitely update to the Fold 6 or to the Fold 7, whatever there might be at that point, as long as the front display is still narrow. I really like this. And yes, you could argue, yeah, man, that's such an expensive phone. But on the other hand, an iPhone Pro Max is also very expensive, and then you can't fold it up. And I have seen a lot of people who buy a very expensive iPhone and then iPad, an iPad mini. So if you add those numbers together, then you're basically in the same ballpark. And I'm not sure. I don't think the iPad mini comes with a pencil. This also comes with the style. No, this doesn't. But sorry about that. But if you buy the case, you get the stylus, and still you probably will be cheaper than an iPad mini, the pencil, and an iPhone, I believe. Don't quote me on that. But at least you're in the same ballpark and you still have to carry much more. This is always with me. I always have basically a phone and an iPad mini with me to work with. So in that regard, I feel the cost is justified. Still, it's a lot of money. Totally understand that. It's also more fragile than an iPhone or an iPad mini. But I think the risk is worth it. And it's still holding up well. I like it. So that would be my favorite purchase of the last 12 months. And yeah, those were the questions that I thought I should maybe answer myself in this very short podcast. And yeah, I'm sorry that I did not have a guest for this episode and for last week's episodes, but there are a lot of cool episodes and guests planned to be on this podcast. As I said, next week I will interview someone from Belroy. I am in talks with a female bag reviewer and a female travel blog creator. So I always wanted to interview or have someone on this podcast who has a female perspective on the bags that we all love and enjoy on everyday carry and stuff like that. So I'm really looking forward to that one. We still have to find a good date and schedule that episode. And then I have 2 other fellow bag reviewers and content creators that I will be reviewing. One of them is hopefully still in Europe, so scheduling will be easier. But yeah, as I said, scheduling with US and Germany, Australia is very difficult sometimes, especially if that person is living in Los Angeles, as I feel like many of the content creators do. That makes scheduling very difficult. So, but yeah, there will be a couple of cool episodes coming pretty soon. And in the next few days, there will also be a video about rolling carry-on that was a lot of fun to do. And I hope that you will like that video as well. So thank you very much for listening to this short podcast episode. And sorry that I was a little bit tired and kind of stumbled upon my words in the beginning. And yeah, thank you so much for listening. And I see you in the next episode, or in the next video, or I hear you in the next video or podcast. Sorry, in the next podcast. Thank you very much.